Hey, Maria back with another video. It's 8:12 p.m. It is February 4th, Monday evening. And I hope for the people who do work the 5-day work week that you ease into this transition, uh, as smoothly as possible. Meaning like you had handled your Monday. I'm just kind of hanging out in my room today and just trying to get myself all situated and thinking straight and sorting through all of this and acknowledging how I feel about this situation. And I've been making videos for quite a long time, and I had mentioned that I've been having problems with my Patreon account, which today I finally got the nerve to go ahead and check my Patreon account because, as everyone knows, I've been dealing with a ridiculous issue that should have been cleared up. I'm going to say, like, right from the very get go. But, as we know, that I've had some infiltration that I've been dealing with people who've been stalking me for quite a long time. This goes for my adoptive family as well as my blood relations and of course some other people. Some of the celebrity soul tribe maybe possibly might be involved in this, and I know another person that I believe was played a big role in this, which I have stopped communication. I did give a deadline for the correction of all clearing up issues. Do I believe the Patreon issue is related to my stalking? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't. I think what they were trying to do, they were basically. I get the feeling that there's some people who there. I don't know what you want to call it. It's a form of trafficking, obviously, but some people might come from a tradition where men basically preside over women or whatever, or people want to form partnerships or whatever and stuff like that. I don't. I've mentioned this before. I'm letting myself be known that I don't, this is not what it was all about. I left the 9 to 5 job because I didn't like the network that I was forced to be in. Okay. Obviously, I think this has something to do with me being a clone and then the whole accusation about the Antichrist nonsense, and then me having problems, of course, like in the workplace mobbing, and then the community harassment, and then all of this. I have suffered enough for the actions of these people. And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm basically talking about the people who orchestrated this, and we know who I'm talking about. But this is not me pointing fingers. It's just basically saying, this who I'm the one who is affected by things that I have nothing, like I had nothing to do with this. Like I was literally caught in something that I would have, by choice, not have been a part of. You know what I mean? And so, I would really appreciate, some sort of speedy action. Now, mind you, the person I was in communication with over at Patreon, the last time I sent her a message was the 13th. Now, I will tell you, in terms of being a customer service representative, she said she was going to forward this issue to someone else, okay? But if you think about this issue, how long it's been lagging on since October, it seems as though this should have been rectified a long time ago. That's customer service. I mean, you have somebody who's working through you, regardless, okay, whether they're trying to hide my income that I've made or not. The thing is that I would never want dissociation. Like my both families know that there is no reason for them to have anything to do with me in my life. I don't want anything to do with my family. And the thing is, when people were taking advantage of me in this situation, being exploited by both families. Like for example, the person who orchestrated this obviously must somehow be in connection with my biological mother, who probably thought it was a good idea for her to throw her 2 cents worth, her opinion on how I'm supposed to live my life, okay? I don't owe this woman anything. She didn't raise me. I don't recall getting any sort of assistance from this person, and if I did, I certainly didn't ask for it. The thing is with me right now and how I feel is that I don't have pleasant thoughts of anyone. Like, I literally feel nothing but utter disgust when I start to think about this network. this network that I'm forced to be a part of. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, there's a lot of celebrities in here that I'm very fond of, and I want to continue to be that way. It's just the fact that, you know, the infiltration and I don't know what or why, you know, these people would think that I'd want to collaborate with them or force me. See, this is where's the coercion, the forcing of certain like so-called partnerships that I wouldn't want to deal with. And actually, I'm taking offense to it. So my issue with Patreon has not been what do you call it, resolved. Okay, and at this point, you know, if you know of any other options, you know, as far as, because I believe that I personally believe my inclination is that I have made money on Patreon. I do believe that I have, okay, and I do believe that there is some sort of group, the group that I'm associated with is somehow trying to get involved in this, and the issue is that they want to be hidden on my Patreon account. I am not comfortable with this group, okay, for several reasons. The illegal nature of the cloning issue, the issue of me being targeted for such a long period of time, and the infiltration that has destroyed all my relationships, past, present, and future. You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable with, you know, that sort of association. And maybe you don't realize how creepy it is, the things that go on and what you guys do, but I'm not comfortable with it. And nor am I under any obligation to adhere to it. It's just, you know, I'm tired of it. I mean, it's like, you know, I've been working very hard for many years, dealing with the harassment, dealing with all of this, and the last thing I need to do is have somebody stop up my money. Or, you know, after I've said many times, you know, when I was in the 9-to-5 world, you know, that I want to get out of this situation. I want to sever ties with all the people who abused me, all for them to follow me the next place, which was Patreon, right? I don't want it. I'm just, you know, I'm frustrated. I have a reason to be, okay? Because I gave a deadline of the 23rd, and guess what? It's the 4th of March, okay? And it took me a lot of, what do you call it? It took a lot of inner strength to get on the computer to check my stuff. But see, I need to get my life moving because I really am tired of being in this situation. And, you know, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm not going to repeat myself. I am not interested in being married to anybody. And I think what they do is they send a lot of honey pots and stuff like that, you know, honey traps. You know, there are all kinds of little words for people. I don't want to deal with that. You know, you guys are my abusers. This is written into the law because it causes long-term effects on a person, on a human being. Okay? Now, whether you guys regard me as some sort of deity or you think of me as just a human being, according to the paperwork that I have on myself, I am a human being. I bleed like everybody else. I eat like everybody else. I use the restroom like everyone else. I get thirsty like everyone else. I live as a human being. Okay? Now, I might be special, but I'm still a human being and I still suffer. You know what I mean? I feel the effects of things that get done to me. Meaning, like, obviously, if somebody's messing with your job, you're getting bullied, or something along those lines, it causes a lot of nervous problems. It also causes, you know, just social problems that, you know, didn't even need to happen. You know, so when it comes to my Patreon issue, just to give you guys an update, and if you guys are a paying member, you know, please continue to reach out to Patreon, you know, on my behalf, because I'm dealing with a very stressful situation, and I don't feel as though I can trust the network that I have been associated with. Only because I've given them plenty of time. I've said it several times, and at this point, I feel like you have basically threatened my life, and I take this as a threat. I take it as a threat. You know, I do because, like I said, you know, once a person has made themselves clear several times, I made myself clear when I was working all the jobs, and I started suspecting that this might have something to do with me being a single woman. And I basically stated that, you know, I don't need to worry about people getting married to me or people trying to financially exploit me. So what happens? Do I believe this Patreon issue has something to do with my targeting? Absolutely. I do. And see, I don't care what people might think. They might say, "Oh, well, because we were thought you were interested in dating, or you were doing this because we thought you were trying to get a guy or something." It doesn't matter whether you thought I was trying to get a guy or not. You know what I mean? If I was trying to get a guy, I would tell you one thing: I don't want a guy who seems to be interested in me for my money. So don't have anything to do with my shit. Okay, because that's an indication of me getting abused. Number two, you know, it's a violation because, like I said, it can relate to sexual harassment, forced marriages, coercion, that sort of stuff. I'm not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? I dress nice because that's my passion in life. They're my clothes, and I meant that. There's a lot of people. What's her name? Agnes Agville. She just recently passed away. God bless her. She's 102 years old. She loved fashion. You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with male attention. It has everything. And I meant that. And see, this is why it's sexual harassment. You don't have the right to sit here and question me and badger me and then make a big deal out of it and protest and cause me all kinds of havoc because you don't like the way that I live my life. I have the right to live my life I want to. I wouldn't want to live my life any other way. You know, this is not me like saying defying, men or anything like that. It's the fact that I have absolutely no one in my life that I trust that's not going to abuse me. And what happened to me just now with people thinking that they can get behind my shit and start like manipulating my stuff that my means of making a living, that's abuse. No, it's abuse. It's abuse and it's wrong. It's wrong. So, once again, I'm sitting here waiting around for Patreon. Hey, I don't want to bash Patreon because I do understand that there were certain people who have what they call, they don't have authority. Okay, technically it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your title. The thing is, that's an abuse of authority. You have no right or agreement. You're taking advantage of someone. If anything, that's a scandal. It's a big no-no. Okay, what you guys are doing. Okay, but the thing is that, you know, so I understand that people can get swayed or they might feel pressured to listen to certain individuals because whatever, but believe me, I don't want to be a part of your network. Okay? I don't, I think very highly of that's me. Okay, I make that decision because obviously you guys do things that are extremely abusive. I also know the history of the whole Prince Alameju thing, and it's not proper. It's not appropriate. You know what I mean? I think the story is very shocking, very sad. And it's funny because, that swimming sort of mentality seems to be, going through you guys' mind, and I really don't want anything to do with you guys. You know what I mean? And I'm just putting it nicely. You know what I mean? My Patreon issue has been going on entirely too long, and I need to make an income, and that's the only way I can do it. I can't go back to a 9 to 5 job. I wouldn't want to go back to a 9 to 5 job, and I would believe that pretty much all the opportunities because of the stupid blacklisting are dried up anyway. I honestly would hate to have to walk back into a 9 to 5 job because I have basically been what do you call it, abused to the point of where it only causes nervousness and severe mental illness. Now, I take it that you guys may not be the kind of people who understand because some people just don't have empathy. They just don't. They don't have empathy. They're not those kind of people. And I remember one of my bosses, Karen, over in Dallas, where she basically said, she had a hard time, relating to people. She just came out and admitted she didn't have empathy, and that's fine, all well and good, but do understand if you don't have empathy, you're not meant to really interact very well with people. Okay? Um, what else did I want to say? Yeah, I do understand that, there was intrusion, which is one of the reasons why I have basically decided to cut myself off from people and limit my interactions with people because I'm tired of dealing with, posers. You know what I mean? It's like, I deserve to have sincerity in my life. I don't need people, being used, to be fake friends. You know what I mean? There's really no reason. I think the obsession, like when I was being like heavily targeted, I was getting like watched and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm like the most boring person in the world. I can't even imagine somebody like really, you know, honing in on me, that deeply. But whatever. Yeah, it is. It's not an appropriate relationship. It's an unwanted relationship, a one-sided relationship. Like I said, the backstory of this is very weird to me in the first place. And, I think you get the message. But whatever the case is, I guess I will send off. The only thing, and see, the thing is, like, all I can really do is work on more content. And it's hard to really find the motivation to do things when you're dealing with people that are crooked. Okay? Doing that to me is crooked. That's one of the reasons why I stopped talking to this particular person. And I wanted to make sure that I remembered them well in my mind, because this sort of infiltration can destroy how you see people. And I will say that, like I said, I don't have fond memories of these people, like the people that I grew up with, like my family, okay, like my ex-family. I don't anymore, because to me, this whole thing was fake, and I see their true colors. Like, how could you do this to another human being? And then when I think about people who kind of get used in this infiltration thing, after you've seen my videos and you've known what I've gone through, I've told people like my mental issues that I've suffered because of this, and people still want to make attempts to like fuck with me. I have literally gotten to the point where I'm just done with people. Like, I literally am just done with people. I can't deal with it anymore. That's not to say there's not good people. It's just that, it's like I'm tired of people with, what do you call it, either dualistic ways of thinking to where they're doing things and they're somehow still betraying me even with they have a smile on their face. I just get really tired of it. It's not like, I'm not, and I'm basically just saying this because, like I said, I checked up on Patreon. Patreon's been taking too long. I don't deserve that. I still need to make more content and upload that and upload what I already have. I haven't tried doing that since I kind of stopped with the video that I was trying to post, but maybe something else would. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I do know that these people are involved in it. Okay, I was being heavily targeted. Like, these people thought that I needed them in order to, like, maybe they thought that because I'm so expressive that they needed to show me how to live my life or whatever. Believe me, I already read a little bit here and there about how you guys live your life. No offense, but I don't want it. Okay. Also, I don't want to deal with relationships that are set up by you guys. Meaning, like, I don't want fake boyfriends or honeypots or somebody who gave birth to me gave me up and then comes out of the woodwork thinking that they have the right to tell me. I mean, you guys dig up some shit. I mean, you guys like to dig up weird shit that I wouldn't even think of either of having anything to do with. Like, I'm just not into it. So, please, I'm basically saying just erase any trace that you ever had anything to do with my life so I can go on with my life. And, just get on with it. You know what I mean? Which is basically what I've been doing for quite a long time. But if you are a Patreon member, please, like I said, continue reaching out to Patreon, trying to find out what's going on. I don't know. I mean, I do know, actually. But, no one's going to come right out and say it. Okay? In the meantime, like I said, I have not been very active on social media. It's mainly because, I need sincerity. I don't need people like, I'm not interested in dating. I'm not interested in being business partners with anybody. I'm just basically trying to get on with my Swan Song manifesto. You know what I mean? And it's not about me. It's very frustrating right now. Okay? I have no other way of making any money. I've already said this. The very fact that, and I understand you don't want to be identified on whatever, but see, once again, I'm tired of, why is that we always have to pay? See, this is the arrogance of these people. Okay, this is what I'm coming out and saying. Okay, and I'm saying it because it's goddamn true. It's arrogant because you think that with the commenters are just going, you're just here to shit on the commenters is basically how that feels. You know what I mean? And the thing is that, like I said, your behavior and your conduct is what can make you immortalized in the minds of many. You know what I mean? So if you are, I would rather, if I was somebody in a position, I would want people to respect me, remember me for being just, for being wise, for being efficient, for being whatever. And those are the things that people care about when it comes to leaders. That's the most important thing. So anyway, I don't really think there's anything else to say other than, I do deeply meditate. Like today, I realized, I came to the understanding that, it's unfortunate, but I honestly, and I've said this before, I honest and truthfully do not give a shit about anything that goes on this fucking earth. I'm so sick of it. Like everything is just like layer upon layer upon layer of corruption. Like people are corrupt and they don't even realize what they're doing is corrupt. I will tell you, by pretending to be my friend or to be an informant, that's not being a friend to me. Okay? Like I need real friends. Friends that I can trust, that I feel warm and like I can say something to, and like I'm a protective of other people's secrets. Even people I'm not even talking to anymore, like I'm not going to tell their secrets. I'm just one of those people, okay? I have what they call integrity, which is so rare, okay? And I understand that. And this is probably one of the reasons why people view me as a deity, because obviously my standards are higher than humans, right? Okay, they are going to be higher than humans, okay? But right now, I'm telling you what is fair, how to resolve the issue. Resolve it because it needs to be resolved. Okay, it should have never happened in the first place. Never happened in the first place. Now, like, I'm going over this situation, I'm thinking, okay, so my dad had me cloned. Okay? But still, I was raised by them. If they had certain expectations of me to cater to the whims of these people, they should have told me that. But they didn't. Okay, I was raised to choose my own religion. I was raised to, at the age of 17, choose your own religion. I was raised that at the age of 13, I could wear lipstick. By the time I was 16, I could wear the full facial makeup if that was my choice. That's what my mother said. Okay, and she was the one who raised me. She was the one who gave me my, I think it was like maybe she gave me $10 for my 13th birthday and said, you go out and get your first tubes of lipstick, and I did. I remember I was all happy and everything. And by the time I was 18 years old, I could do whatever I wanted. That's what they told me. Now, if there was some sort of agreement that my parents had, they didn't, at least, they may not have wanted to come out and tell me, okay, but they would have at least, like, tried to steer me into that direction, which they never did. Okay, so, I'm sorry. I think, like I said, and I'm going to say this again, this sort of attachment is completely inappropriate. And it's not appreciated. Like, I never wanted anybody to come in and do this shit. So I'm hoping that this Patreon issue will resolve itself. It's impossible for me not to have Patreon members. It's impossible. Why? Because people know who I am. People know that I'm innocent, okay? And I do have an idea of what I've made on Patreon. And I do believe that these people have been trying to obstruct it by hiding their identity, causing my account to have to be modified. Which, okay, fine. At first, I was okay with it. But like I said, there is no reason for people to hold something against me. Like, I believe that they were trying to change who I was in order for me to make my own money. That right there is coercion. Okay? Regardless of maybe somebody thought that I was going to be in a romantic relationship with somebody, I would not be in a romantic relationship with somebody who is basically trying to force me to be something I don't want to be. Okay, by having somebody in that position saying, okay, well, I'm going to, control her, or basically yes, that's what you're doing, controlling somebody and trying to manipulate them into doing something that you want them to do over their own money, over the things that they create, over, No, that's wrong. That's coercion, and it's wrong. Okay? I have the right to live my life however I want. And I mean, I recognize abuse, and like I said, my standards are higher than humans because I am who I am. And I know what abuse is. And I can feel the after effects of abuse because I get very upset when I work my hardest and I'm trying very hard to make a living for myself. Being an honest person, like, I understand there's a lot of gold diggers out there these days. There's a lot of gold diggers out there these days. And, and I'm telling you, I have never tried to use anybody for anything that they have. I basically tried to make a living for myself. Okay? And at this point in my life, I don't trust people. I need to be able to have my own protection and my own income, my ability to be, my ability to make my own money. You know what I mean? Because I don't have anyone. I would not trust myself to quote unquote fall in love with some man who's going to sit here and basically try to trap me. No, I'm not going to do that. That has never been the plan. Okay, and I don't care who comes into my life and tries to pretend that they give a shit about me. I'm not going to fall for that, regardless. Okay, all I care about is me, and I understand that a lot of this has to do with racial stuff because some people are intimidated by people who are independent, especially if they are people of color. I will tell you that my situation is based on a lot of the struggles that these people have created, and I would not have asked to be put in this situation. I mean, I wouldn't have asked to be here at all, really. I mean, it had, except for with my father. You know what I mean? When my father was here, honestly, when I look at life on Earth, I mean, I cannot understand why anybody would want to be here. It's garbage. It's just absolute garbage, and so. Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't like my biological mother. I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want to meet her. I don't want to know her. I don't. And I don't want anything to do with my past family. I think people thought that because, and I'm very grateful for the celebrities, that do support me. I'm very grateful for that. And like I said, I want to maintain a good relationship with these people and by not being deceived. Meaning, like, I don't need like the intervention and people pretending that they're this person or this person's reporting a message back to this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need real friends. You know what I mean? I don't need backstabbers. And see, some people they backstab so much that it's just common and normal to them. It's normal for them to be two faced. You know what I mean? Because I don't know any other way. But I'm a sincere person, and it's just not good enough for me. It just isn't. So anyway, I think it's been a very long time, and I'm getting very tired. And I'm dealing with bills right now. Nobody wants to take any responsibility for, of course, my car payment. They don't want to take responsibility for my credit card. These guys, I mean, seriously, I've lost all. I don't have any respect. Okay, at this point, I have zero. But and I really don't have any reason to have any respect for people who abuse me, really. Um, but anyway, I do want to say thank you to my Celebrity Soul Tribe. What else did I want to say? That's pretty much it. I am working on content today. I did work on some of it, which I was glad because I really felt as though even though there's some sort of stagnation, I still need to make content because content is what I'm going to be doing for most of my life. I can't think of anything else. So, and like I said, I don't really see why I should switch to another platform because I do believe I've made money on Patreon. I do believe that. And like I said, it's impossible for me not to because I'm that clone that was pointed out. I'm that person that has been blocked and blacklisted. So, I mean, obviously, I'm a high profile person, whether I wanted to be or not. And believe me, I didn't really want to be, you know. But I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I don't want people thinking that they have any right to tell me I don't know who was offended by me being dressed up. I think maybe it was, oh yeah, I do remember now. There's so many things to this. Like, it starts to literally fall out of my head. Like, I keep remembering, okay, the girl over at a Flourishing Fart, and I remember all these, and then I keep thinking, okay, what did they do? Now I remember what they did, but it's like, this person fucked up, this person fucked up, this person got abused me, this person did this. Like, so many fucked up people did so many different things that I have to start sitting here and thinking, okay, now what did they do again? Because everybody I knew stabbed me in the back, did something crazy to me. And I'm trying to pinpoint, like, okay, how far back was this now? Because it's just like one piece of garbage after another. Seriously. Everything that was done to me was evil. And I do not believe that you guys, I'm around people that I can fully trust. So anyway, I think that's about it. I don't have an interest in joining anybody's religion. I'm angry that people looked at me as if I was some sort of threat when I really am not. It's just that, I always exercise my religious freedom, and I was never doing it in a very open way. I was just living my life. I was targeted, meaning that people came in, started looking at me, started getting my house under surveillance, started studying me, talking about me, observing me. Obviously, I keep forgetting there was this issue of the experiment, right? Like I said, this is so deep that I literally have to pick it apart. You know what I mean? And it really, I honestly hate the situation. I hate it. Okay? I don't like it at all. Like, I mean, it's cool about the Prince Alamehu thing, but I mean, I get angry because it's like somebody is assuming and accusing me of stuff that I couldn't possibly even think about. Like, because as far as I knew, like I said, like, I was in America, we had religious freedom. I never knew any different. You know what I mean? And like I said, if all that has changed overnight, well, somebody needs to have some sort of press conference and let people know, hey, that we're basically being enslaved. Because somebody needs to tell them that. And I don't think people in this country would be very happy about that. You know what I mean? I'm not responsible for the decline of Christianity, not in any way, shape, or form. I think I'm not the only person, like I said, who's noticed, the kind of abuse that goes on in Christianity. Not saying that Christianity and Jesus himself is wrong. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who do a lot of abusive things, and they use religion as an excuse, which I've said this before. I'm tired. I'm so tired of this situation. I'm tired of, I sit there every day and I keep thinking, I cannot believe that this happened to me. I cannot believe that this is really what happened. You know what I mean? I cannot believe that, all my life I've been dealing with these brainwashed people who were attacking me and accusing me of stuff, who didn't like who I was, who was pretending all the time. I think about all this all the time. I don't need any continuations of fake people coming into my life. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I can't deal with it. So anyway, hopefully, things will get cleared up. I don't know what else to do when it comes to Patreon. But like I said, there's no way in the world that I didn't make any money. No, I do not have a business partner. No, I'm not interested in making business partners. I'm interested in having my Swan Song Manifesto out in the open so that, it's a part of my life. It's marking my history. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will be back with another video sometime later. Until then, to all my supporters, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.